Hey, what's up, my young and restless peeps? I hope everybody's enjoying their year so far. It's been 3 days, but hopefully it's been a good 3 days. Anyways, doing this video to talk about what I would like to see on the Young and Restless in 2026. As of right now, of course, once more episodes air, I will want more from the soap. But anyways, I wrote down, well, rather typed up 5 little bullet points of stuff I would like to see. Anyways, no particular order, just what popped in my head first. Number one, but this definitely is something I would love to see in the new year, though it probably won't happen. But a girl can dream, can she not? Someone to finally stick it to the mustache, Victor Mustache Newman. Like, no, I was just thinking, not a lot of sub characters have middle names that we know of, anyways. But someone finally stick it to the mustache, and I talked about this in my lone young and restless review. It's just like, I'm just so tired of Victor just getting away with everything, and nobody is able to get the upper hand on him. It's really annoying, and I'm sure people stuck it to Victor in the past, but come on, when was the last time, besides Jordan, that Victor was really taken out? And all of the um all the fingers are pointing towards where they could go with that. You know, all the cards are aligned. There's something else I wanted, some other cliche to say, to say it, but this is where they're hinting the story. There we go. Where they're hinting is where the story can go. Screwing over Kane, Matt Clark, the Abbotts, Phyllis. So many people in the town can really like band together and really take that mustache, which is kind of sad that all these people have to gang up on a can't take down an old man themselves. I don't know, but like I said, I'm not sure if they'll actually do that to show the head writer Josh Griffin seems to really love to have Victor on top, which is very boring because I don't see him as a top. But dirty humor. Mm. Sorry, I don't know if my young and the restless peeps. Do you like dirty humor? I love it. So I don't know, but yeah, that'll make for great storylines and just like knock Victor down a peg or two to bring him back to his roots. He was talking about on Christmas, how his mother left him at an orphanage and he had to build up his brand while Jack inherited his. So that's like, yeah, Victor, you're just hella fucking jealous of, excuse my language, of Jack. That's basically what they're saying. So I think it would be a really great storyline for Mustache to dig into in the new year, is trying to find his way. Just sitting there, just thinking about everything that he's done and how he ended up to where it was. They could do like flashbacks, a lot of different things. Could be a really great storyline and put a smile on my face as well as many others. But I think it'd be a really good thing and get Eric Braeden another. Has he ever won an Emmy? Let's give him an Emmy. It's a great storyline idea. I'm just saying. Put it out there. I don't care who does it at this point. Just do it. And I think Jack is kind of, well, I can understand Jack not wanting to work with Phyllis because she's shady as hell. But you could at least try to entertain her, I guess. But yeah, if she screwed you over, then that's all of Abbott Communications gone away. But not just communications, the Jabot, Lordy. Jabot. I keep forgetting Jabot. Their company name is Jabot. Most of the other soaps or companies are named after the family name. So Jabot was one of the rare, and then Titan on Days of Our Lives. But anyways, number two, better written storylines. It's definitely Young and Restless is definitely one soap that just like to ruin a good thing. Like they just had so many promising storylines last year. Well, I didn't. Oh, if you didn't know, I took a break from soaps, starting in mid to late November, March of 2024. And while I did watch some episodes here and there, I didn't really get back some episodes here and there. I didn't get fully back into Young and Restless until early June. Well, I watched the Memorial Day episode, I remember, because that's when I found out Sally and Billy were dating. And I'm like, anyways, but they had so many promising storylines, like the Dumas storyline, the whole LA thing, but bringing Matt Clark back from the dead, and there's some other storylines where they just really ruined it by not just adding Victor to it, but just writing the storyline to where it's like, why? Why should we care about this anymore? Never mind. That wasn't a promising storyline. Um, I was gonna say something else. But you know, it has so much promise. You have so many great actors on the show, and you just give them absolute crap to work with. And some of the stuff is not gold. No, the actors definitely deserve better writing. As fans, we deserve a lot of better writing from the show, and I think it's very possible. They just need to kick Josh's butt and to make tell him to write better shit or get a better writer. I would not. Never mind. I couldn't write for Young and Restless. I'm not big on um writing. Writing job business storylines. Never really been my forte. But yeah, and another thing is, but the whole Mariah thing. That's what I was gonna say. That was a promising storyline, but there was never promise in that story. But they could have did better with the storyline and just like what's going on here, and it still doesn't make sense to me. Just admit that you didn't want the lesbians together anymore. But anyways, and also stop torturing Sharon. Damn. Like every time I turn around, they're writing a storyline to torture Sharon. It's like they brought back like everybody to like mess with her head and everything. Just it's just why I still don't really understand Matt Clark being brought back. I mean, then again, that was way before my time of watching the show. So I don't really, I still don't really know who the hell he is. Um, but let her be happy. Let her be happy finally. Which takes me into um number three, more romance. Why are Sharon and Nick not back together yet? Lordy, they just seemed like that's where they were heading when they were in Nice. And then, they had that kiss right before they came home and then nothing. They didn't even have scenes for like 2 or 3 weeks later. And then it looks like they're about to kiss again and they got interrupted. I think it was Sally and Billy came in and interrupted them. And then nothing yet. They were bonding over Noah being hurt, after the accident and stuff, and now with all Matt Clark stuff, you're telling me they still haven't had a moment to like kiss or cuddle up together, Nick could be like, I'm here for you. Yes. And when I can't do it, I will ask my old ass daddy to help us out. It's like, I don't understand. I don't understand why they're not together. But I have to give it to Young and Restless. They did bring some heat this past early um fall. I'm trying to think, when did that happen? The whole LA stuff start. Remember with Claire and Holden getting on? That has to be one of the hottest love scenes, passionately hugging scenes I've seen in a while, especially on Young and Restless. I was like, that's hot. I was like, damn, it's hot here. Just me. I love my soap porn, so I was really happy that they did that. And those two are really hot together, and I really would like them to work out things, and I hope that Claire's not judgmental about the whole killing the dude after stealing his money kind of thing. I don't really like her with Kyle. They're very boring together, and Kyle's really stalkerish, just kind of weird. It's like he's more into Claire than he ever was Summer, which didn't make sense to me. I mean, I wasn't a big Kyle Summer fan, but they they were a thing, and the show's making it not seem a thing. But I can totally see Kyle and Audra hooking up again. That seems fitting, and I want Adam and Sally back together. Get them back together, damn it! Oh my gosh, it was like a freaking tease. If they don't put them together, that's just mean. Doing the on New Year's with them reminiscing about their past and showing the flashbacks and stuff. I swear, if you don't put them back together this year, that's just plain old freaking mean and torturous. It's like you threw that in just to hurt my feelings. I know, 'cause Josh Griffin just has something against me. Anyways, but come on, you have to admit, even if you're not a fan of them, they definitely have better chemistry than Sally and Billy. Boring as hell. Billy in general is boring as hell, but I have to admit that Billy and Chelsea were pretty interesting. I did like the storyline where he helped her saved her from herself. And actually, I wouldn't say I shipped them, but they seem more tolerable than Adam and Chelsea or Billy and Sally. So yeah, and Chelsea is really annoying. I still don't see a reason. Nothing against the actress. I like Melissa Claire Egan, but sometimes the writing for Chelsea is just not there, and I think that her being with Adam is and him wanting to basically be a mini Victor seems like a turn off from Chelsea, and that's why she should just walk away. I'm just saying. Look at me trying to dictate couples. That's just what I do. That's one thing that's always drawn me to soap operas when you think about it. Um, I know some people don't care about romance, and it's not really that big on Young and Restless, but I would like that. Also, Nate and Victoria. I like to see more of them. I like to see more Nate, especially Adam. Let me stop. Anyways, number four. More action. This is something I just want more from the Young and Restless. Young and Restless, sometimes called Old and Restless, because most of the characters on the show are they're old, they're over 50ish. I'm sure the younger looking people, they're probably my age or a little older. So I'm pushing 40. So Adam, Sally, they're in their 40s. I'm sure. Even Claire and Kyle. I'm sure they're not sure if they're supposed to be in their 20s, but I'm sure the actors are. Yeah, they gotta be late 20s, early 30s. There's no way that they're younger 20s. Anyways, nothing wrong with being old. But, one of the things that older people do is they sit around and gossip. And that's what it seems like the show does a lot of. They just sit around talking about what they do or what they should do instead of going into action, do something. It doesn't have to always be about sex or fighting or whatever. Just get up, do something, move around. Don't just sit down and talk to each other. That's gonna happen, of course, but let's do a little more moving around instead of just sitting down. Very boring. You know, go into some action. That's what makes me think. And I was like, maybe their budget is tight. That's why they didn't show the accident or at least pretend to have shown Noah crashing into whatever he crashed in. Or whatever, just seeing him wrapped up in the hospital is kind of like, oh, why couldn't we see the action? Anyways, well, I'm sorry, I'm an action show movie buff, so I don't say said buff. I would say fan. So sometimes watching, I get the action from other soaps, being the Days of Our Lives, General Hospital fan, they throw into action. Beyond the Gates has been doing it too. Bold even has their moments. Young and Restless, what you're doing here. It's just people sitting around talking and working in their fancy clothes. Let's change it up a little bit. I don't think that's gonna happen, but we shall see. But anyways, even their fight was kind of. I was waiting for. I really thought that Nick would get his butt whooped by Matt Clark, but I was wrong. Anyways, and finally, some characters are missing on the show, or they're on, and I would like to see a little more of them. I would like to see more Tracy. She's there's one thing about Young and Restless is that there's a lot of unlikable characters to me, anyways, and I think that Tracy Abbott is one of the very few characters that I've never had a problem with. And she's always entertaining. She's beautiful. So sweet. That means that if you piss her off, she'd probably be, scary as hell. But I like to see her do more on the show. Especially be more involved with what's going on with the habits and stuff. You never know, she could have a little ace up her sleeve as well. And where the hell is Ashley? I think Ashley should be definitely more involved in Diane and weak ass Kyle in a storyline. Get her back up and running. I heard that she had DID after I left watching the show, which I'm glad. I mean, it's because I've seen that on other soaps. It was way overly done. So glad I missed that. But she seemed okay the last few times she's been on. Can we get some more Ashley? At least have them involved in this storyline. Since it involves the Abbotts should be in the storyline with the Abbotts. Yeah, also Devon. Where you barely see Devon anymore. And not that I'm missing her, but Abby. I never really liked Abby either. But and I still don't understand them being together. I still don't understand the whole surrogate thing. It's just I don't know. But sometimes I forget that Abby is a Newman because she's like never involved in the Newman trauma. So then when she's like calling Victor daddy and stuff, I'm like, oh crap, I forgot. Um, yeah, that's her. That's her. That's a real daddy, not her daddy. Um, but I just think that it was weird that they, are not really around that much. Also, it's really weird that Abby wasn't there for Chance's funeral and stuff. Or actually, they didn't really have a funeral for him, but we never got a reaction from her about what happened with Chance, which is I just thought it was weird, especially since she was there. But anyways, yeah, like I said, I'm not really missing her, but it is weird that maybe she could be the one to really get to Victor because she's a Newman and an Abbott. So maybe her, yeah, Abbott, yeah, she's an Abbott because I was like, hold on, wait, yeah, actually, somehow. So her her perspective, you know, you know, could do something for Victor, or since she has the end with Victor and with the Abbotts, maybe she could be a peacemaker, or maybe they can give her a little edge and have her help screw over Victor. Come on, throwing out some ideas. Listen. Let me shut up. Anyways, that's all I had to say about this. What would you like to see from the Young and Restless in 2020? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe for more Young and the Restless videos. And if other videos of the other soaps. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Thank you for watching. Love you guys. Bye.